Today, we talk about my gear. So last time I checked in with you guys, that was a few videos ago, I had talked about bartering in order for me to upgrade all my gear. And last time we left off was with this. This is the Canon C100 Mark I. Ever since then, I've been using this camera nonstop, and I've actually upgraded the sensor to have dual pixel autofocus. And it works good for the most part. My only gripe with that is it doesn't really, um, it only stays focused when everything's in the middle, but anything outside of that, it hunts for focus quite a bit. So it works though for like talking head videos, for videos like this, works perfect. In fact, I used it in my last video when I was talking about the uh, the many films and video games of RoboCop. Great video, check it out. So what am I shooting with right now if I'm not using this? Well, I'm using the Canon C300 Mark I. My only gripe with this camera right now is I don't have the dual pixel autofocus, and for some reason, when I go online to look for a nearby uh, Canon person or whatnot, or when I go onto their website, I can't find the dual pixel autofocus upgrade for the C300. So I'm just like kind of stuck without it. Not really a big deal because I know how to pull focus pretty good, especially when I'm out in the field. It's just a little bit more helpful when you're doing other type of run and gun situations, or if I had to leave the camera by itself on sticks when I'm trying to shoot like something like a wedding or whatnot. But if I'm doing that, I'm probably going to be using the C100 instead because this has now become my B camera instead of my A camera. You're probably asking yourselves right now, Rick, it's 2023. These cameras are dinosaurs now. Why not just upgrade? Well, for starters, I kind of bartered here for getting all my upgrades. You know, the C300, I didn't pay very much for it. I think I paid only a G, which is a very good deal, especially with what it came with. It came with the body, it came with the monitor, it came with a microphone, it came with like 6 batteries. And I upgraded my 24 to 105 millimeter for this Sigma 18 to 35 millimeter. Now, that sounds kind of like a downgrade because of the range, because I no longer have something like a 24 to 105. Now I'm limited to 18 to 35, but I wasn't really using that lens very much. Most, if not all, my videos these days have been just talking with you guys. And if I'm going to do that, I'm going to need the best possible lens for that situation, which is something like this, the Sigma 18 to 35. I love the fact that it kind of blurs out the background, but it leaves me in focus as long as I stay in focus. The cool thing about having the C300 is it has focus peaking, so I'm able to just, pull focus pretty good. And as long as I stay in one place and not just, move around and whatnot, I'll stay in focus. And not to mention, this has a really good waveform monitor. Um, I can, it comes with its own monitor with the screen where I can just flip so I can actually see myself pretty good, as opposed to the Canon C100, which I have to connect an external monitor to. It's not really much of a pain in the butt because I just, plug in the HDMI. I have a spare battery for it, and it works okay for the most part. The colors on that monitor though are not very great. I mean, it's an old Field World EVF, so I'm not expecting too much of it. I'm not expecting, you know, Ninja, Shogun, Natamus, you know, stuff like that. I'm not expecting that kind of quality, because those are very expensive monitors and field recorders and whatnot. Super 35 millimeter was the standard for many, many, many years in Hollywood. You know, I mean, they recently just adapted to 4K and 8K these days. And though it works for Hollywood for big budget blockbuster films, for what I use, I really don't need that. So far, I'm very happy with the C300. And not to mention, I mean, with the features you're getting, I don't need to upgrade anything. You know, I don't need to add stuff to it. Everything's already on board, you know, the neutral density filters, the waveform monitor, the LCD screen that I can move in almost any position. It has XLR ports, so I can add external audio to it, a shotgun mic or a lavalier like I'm using right now. You know, it has the focus peaking. I mean, it has what I need, and I don't have to add anything to it. You know, if I was to go out and get like the R5 or R7 or R whatever the hell is out there, yes, the picture will probably be much better than the C300 as far as, you know, because it's got a 4K sensor or whatnot. But I would have to add so much crap to it. Imagine having to add so much stuff, taking an extra 10, 15 minutes just to set it up, to make sure everything's set correctly. Uh, and of course, when it comes to the audio, I'm not going to want to, you know, jack into the microphone jack port. I'm going to want to use it externally, you know, so I'll probably have to use my H4n zoom. With this, I don't have to even use that. I don't even have to break that thing out. Just plug in the XLR ports and voila, you know, and no syncing at post. That's a time saver right there for a guy like me. When it comes to gear, in the end, it's all based on what you need it for, you know. It's not all about the specs. It's about the right tool to do the job right. And for me, the Canon C100 and the Canon C300 do the job for me. And in many ways, it's overkill, but that's okay. I wouldn't have it any other way. Until next time, stay true, stay you.